We're going to switch gears a little bit right after this break. We're going to come back. We're going to visit with Magic Nori, who is the Vanderbilt food coach. And he really helps the Commodores football team, all their sports teams, and the athletes fuel their bodies to get ready for competition. He also has a new book out. It's called Eating to Win, with America's #1 food coach. We'll talk all about that, how you can get the book, what's in the book, some of his secrets a little bit, if he'll share those with you. And we'll just talk to him all about this. Pretty cool stuff. And we will talk with Magic when we come back. We'll take a break, and we'll have more Sportsline right after this. All right, we're back on Sportsline. Our guest tonight is Magic Nori, is the food coach over at Vanderbilt with the Commodores. Magic, thanks for coming in. And the book is Eating to Win. Told you about it right before the break. It is a book that's been out just a couple months now, and it's kind of the secrets behind the training table, what the athletes do at Vanderbilt, your philosophy for things. And first off, the caption below the title is with America's #1 food coach. Where does the title food coach come from, and how is that different than a lot of schools that have, just people in charge of the food?
Steve, thank you for having me, first of all. And the title, it came out like I think every team needs a food coach. As a matter of fact, I met with Magic Johnson a few years ago, and he believed in that too. And he told me, absolutely right, because what happened? Food coach is like a trainer. Trainer are not a doctor. Mm-hmm. You need to be a chef. You know about the food and what's new in the market, any kind of food, and also basic nutrition. That's what I have it in the book, basic nutrition. And now some of other schools trying to hire food coach. As a matter of fact, a chef, a certified chef with knowledge of nutrition, because nutrition, it changes a lot. And it's very important these days.
So as we look in this book, Eating to Win, what are kind of the main points you'd like to get across to athletes as they try to fuel their body for the best performance?
I came out with free. Of course, I'm working more than 20-some years with athletes. And I'm on front line working with them. And I like to work with high school kids because they're foundation. I want to change this culture. I came up with free. Free stands for food, rest, exercise, education. And on the food part and rest or exercise, education, they should have same enthusiasm. If they want to be ultimate athlete, even regular people, if you want to be ultimate athlete, you should have same enthusiasm toward food and with new technology and rest. And of course, your sport, exercise, and they need to understand is not going to happen overnight. It's a process. You can't gain weight or lose weight overnight. Different people work different.
Magic Nori, the food coach over at Vanderbilt, our guest tonight here on Sportsline. Magic, if you are an athlete and you're trying to get your peak level of performance, what are some of the foods, things they need to do on a daily basis to maintain? And then what are some of the things that they need to have, say, Friday night before a football game or Saturday morning before a football game?
The most important part is food is around them. The problem is a lot of supplement out there. Those are supplement, it's not substitute. So they need to kind of pick the right type of food. Right food is peanut butter jelly sandwich is right there. It's cheaper than all kind of bars is out there. You get 320 calories and you get 40-gram carb in it. So you have this food at home. And you got to think about it like a day before, like you have your jersey ready, everything ready. Think about next day what I'm going to have for breakfast. His most challenging part is also breakfast. What for lunch? What for dinner? And the food, breakfast, you can have a blender. With a blender, you can put a soy milk or milk in it with graham cracker and some maple syrup. That would do your breakfast. Dry nuts, dry fruits. Those are condensed calories. They can put in the Ziploc bag and put it in the backpack. And of course, timing is very important. They can practice in school and pass like 2 hours, then coming home for supper or dinner. they have to have in 30 minutes after practice some type of high protein food in their backpack, and try that.
As the guy in charge of the training table for all the athletes at Vanderbilt, what's the biggest challenge, Magic, in supplying the food and getting good quality food out there to offensive and defensive linemen that are trying to bulk up and be huge 300-pound guys, skill position players on football, and then some of the other athletes that you have walking through the doors on a daily basis?
It's just variety and selection of what you have out there. We can educate them, and also having the food maybe is not good for them once in a while, but the education, it comes first. They need to understand if you're a 350-pound lineman, you need to eat different than, you know, a 200-pound wide receiver. And they need to know how much calorie they need to take a day, and they need to know what type of activity. And mostly, especially in NFL, they burn a lot of calories on the you know, on the field. So what we have is, again, varieties. We have the menu. Also, we have, like, every night fresh grilled chicken breast. We have some type of fish, grilled or baked. So those are the choices. You know, most of the girls athletes are going to pick those. The guys ask for wings and, you know, chicken fingers. Once in a while, we give it to them. But you need to educate them also, let them know here is the type of food you need. I mean, that's.
You're making me hungry right now just thinking about that. I've been fortunate enough to eat over there a couple times, and there are some just great selections over there. It's amazing. If you think about it, you know, to a degree, the room kind of looks like your high school cafeteria or maybe your college dorm cafeteria, very nice and all that. But then you have the selection of food and the types of food. It's like going to a very nice restaurant, and I know you pride yourself in that. A couple of the specialties I know you have are the angel hair pasta omelet, I know. And also you're known for your smoothies. Talk about sort of your idea behind that and what you really like to make.
First of all, about the smoothie, I don't know, it's a joke or not. I say I invented the smoothie because, like, 1991, Sports Illustrated magazine had an interview me, and I told them my football player don't eat, you know, a big plate of cantaloupe, honeydew, pineapple, berries. So I start putting those in a blender, put some ice or popsicle, some juice, and I call it a slushy smoothie. And that's documented by Sports Illustrated magazine, 1991. So that's something, you know, sometimes the kids don't eat solid type fruit. In that case, they can easily drink like 16 ounces of smoothie, which is equal with that fruit. Also, angel hair pasta I came up with for breakfast. You know, eggs it has protein. You have cheese has protein. Then angel hair is kind of soft when you kind of saute that, and it has also carb. So it's complete the breakfast I came up with that.
At Vanderbilt, you've fed and trained a lot of the great athletes out there. And one of your athletes had a remarkable day yesterday, a very overwhelming day financially too, and Brandt Snedeker winning not just the Tour Championship in Atlanta, but also winning then the FedEx Cup playoffs and the $10 million bonus that comes with it. Talk about maybe an experience you've had with Brandt, and then also just how proud you are of seeing a guy like that go on.
I was very excited, first of all. And always I say, I'm not feeding athletes, I fuel them. All the time I was going to correct that. And Brad's favorite was shrimp. And he was, every time almost he come into training table, he asked about, you know, he just staying there and look at my new, I got some shrimp, you want to have some fried shrimp? He loved to do fried shrimp. So that's the experience I had with him. And of course, he was a lot on golf course.
You have the opportunity with your job to be up close and personal with so many of these athletes on a daily basis. Some other guys, major league guys like David Price, pitcher with the Rays, great pitcher there. Mike Minor with the Braves, Pedro Alvarez. So many of these guys have gone on to big things. Jay Cutler in the NFL, several other guys that are in the NFL right now. And you've also worked with a couple other guys with the Titans, Eddie George, Javon Curse, some of those. Do you have any good stories on any of those guys, or any particular athlete that maybe really loves something, or maybe you had to sneak him some junk somewhere along the way?
Oh, I gotta say that one. Javon Curse. You know, I worked with Javon and Eddie, and the time Titan went to the Super Bowl, and Steve Watterson said, I had a good impact on them as far as weight, because I worked with almost 20 of the players, and then I had to do with high-profile one. Javon, I used to go to his house. I had his, remote control. Even I had to go early in the morning, do the breakfast and lunch and the Titan and dinner. And every time I go there, not every time, but most of the time, it was a couple dozen donuts in there. And I kind of got frustrated. I talked to Jim Schultz, of course, is Detroit head coach, and he gave me his cell phone number. He said, if he doesn't do it, you need to call me. So I start having like salmon and shrimp and make his shake, and I stayed there, make sure he eat that. And of course, he gained 15 pounds. He was a little underweight. He gained 15 pounds in 6 weeks, which they had put a story inside NFL in Sports Illustrated about him. And
certainly went on.
Yeah, it worked.
Very good career with the Titans as well. Magic Nori is our guest. He's the food coach over at Vanderbilt. Also, one of the authors, along with Skip Anderson and Fred Dubose, of Eating to Win. It is a book that is out. Real quickly, where can people find this book?
It's everywhere. But if they go on eatingtowin.com, that's the good price. The best site is eatingtowin.com. And also, I have a book signing in Vanderbilt Main Storage Center Thursday from 12 to 2, which anybody welcome coming over there, say hello to.
Come over there, get your book, get your copy of the book signed by Magic as well. We got to take a break. We'll come back. More questions with Magic, the food coach from Vanderbilt, after this. All right, we are back on Sportsline. Steve Lehman with you tonight, and our guest is Magic Nori. He's the food coach over at Vanderbilt, America's #1 food coach. He's dubbed by Sports Illustrated way back 1991 and continues on for several years here now. Actually,
1991 was based in SEC. It was like 2000 or 2002. So, okay. I've been in the Sports Illustrated 6 times. 5 in the Sports Illustrated for men, and it was women Sports Illustrated. I was in that too one time.
You have a lot of experience with Vanderbilt, that is for sure,
Thank you.
And a lot of acclaims throughout the country for the work you've done over there with student athletes and fueling them, as you said, not feeding them, fueling them on a daily basis. Michael has been waiting on the phone line. He's a Vanderbilt fan. Michael, welcome to the program. Thanks for calling tonight.
Yeah, hi, this is Sam Michael from Smyrna. I have a question for Magic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
Now, what about the beef in the diet? I've always heard that the red meat and the tube steak is like, you can't have that with and it should be chicken breast and tuna. Is that right?
Right.
Well, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to stay on the line to listen.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks. We appreciate that, Michael. What is the difference? Because you hear a lot about protein, especially for guys who are or athletes that are trying to maybe bulk up, put on some muscle sort of thing. What are the differences in maybe some of the good proteins you want to have and some of the proteins that maybe you want to stick away from?
Protein, you can have protein like amino acid, got protein from meat. You can have protein from fish, but overall, you need to see how much protein you need a day. I mean, it's all about how your diet is. Or, like some people, they go low on carb, they trying to have more protein, but basically you need 15% of your calorie from protein on normal activity. And any kind of protein, it works. You got to have balanced protein like amino acid protein or type of fish protein or any kind of other protein. You get it from some vegetable or some starch. You get it some protein. But overall, you need to know how many grams. Some people, they don't know how many grams even they need. If you take 2,000 calories a day, for 15% need to be protein, and for one gram of protein, you get 4 calories. People need to understand that. Fat, you get 9 calories. Protein and carb, you get 4 calories. So they can figure out how many protein for like 2,000. You can like 15% of 2,000, then divided by 4, that's a gram of protein you need a day. And you need to balance it. You can, I mean, if you want to be an athlete, you have to have, you know, both kind of protein.
It's as important as working out and practice and all those sort of things. The book is Eating to Win. Our guest tonight, Magic Nori, he is one of the authors of that book, and as we mentioned, the food coach over at Vanderbilt, dubbed by Sports Illustrated as America's #1 food coach. Here's a good shot of the book. You can get it at eatingtowin.com. That's probably the easiest place, although you can find it in a lot of bookstores as well. Also, Magic has a book signing coming up in a couple of days on Thursday over on the Vanderbilt campus as well, if you'd like to go get your book signed, as I have. I got Magic to sign it a few weeks ago. Magic, you were born in northern Iran and moved over here. You have kind of an interesting personal story. But how did you get into food? How did food become your love, and how did you get involved with athletics?
Okay, before I start that, also to Michael, as far as protein, timing is very important too. It's very important. Again, right after practice, high protein food. Now, I was born in Tehran. Tehran is capital of Iran. I left 1977. I was in Sweden for like less than a year. Then I have a physical education and sports science degree from UT, but University of Tehran. And then I went to UT to get my master, which unfortunately with the situation, finance situation, and you know, stuff happened, I didn't finish my master. Then I started working, I transferred to MTSU, started working in a restaurant named Western Sizzling. And then I started from there. Then in a few years, I was a sous chef and a chef, and I was executive chef before I went to Vanderbilt. And of course, I got my chef degree through ACF, American Culinary Federation, and always loved working with athletes. And I'm fortunate I'm in a job I really enjoy doing it.
What is the best part about getting to work with athletes on a daily basis, and the challenges of not just trying to make a good meal that somebody like I would come and enjoy, but a meal that they're going to enjoy and is going to be beneficial to them in practice or on the field on game day?
I mean, I feel that's what, as a coach, I feel like I have impact on them. You know, losing weight, losing or gaining. I'm on the sideline when there is a football game, and you know, it's a kind of, I enjoy that. It's like I have a passion about it, and I never slow down, and I'm just, don't get old, I guess. I mean, still having same energy I had like 22 years ago when I started in Vanderbilt first day.
You've got some tips that are in the book, all sorts of things towards the goal of eating to win, and kind of a did you know section in there. One of the ones that stands out to me is about hydration. And sometimes people think about the food and the calories and all that, but maybe they're not thinking so much about how important hydration is. What's your biggest tip on hydration for an athlete?
Get pre-hydrated, like pre-game meal. If you wait till you get thirsty, it's damage done. You already dehydrated. So make sure if you have some type of activity, I talk to high school kids, and I just mention that a lot. It's very important you pre-hydrated yourself. Like it started 2.5 hours before the practice start. Even hot
days before.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, 3 hours before that you can start do that. In the hot day you can do that. It's very important. And the thing is out there, get you dehydrated. They need to be careful about the food they're eating, about the drink, like sodas, is dehydrating. I mean, also all sort of energy drinks is out there is, you know, dehydrating, which doesn't help.
A couple other quick ones I liked looking here is cold coming on, seafood, and no alcohol, right?
No. Alcohol, again, alcohol has like for 1 gram alcohol has 7 calories. If somebody wanted, you know, quickly watch that one too.
The other good tip I liked, although I've no clue about any of this stuff, is menstrual cramps. You say calcium-enriched milk and get out in the sunshine. Who would have thought?
That's some tips which Skip came up with, which I mean, these are information for the one like to know, as far as that kind of stuff. Very good, useful information.
Lots of tips that if you follow it, you can help fuel your athletic activities as well. The book is called Eating to Win. It is from Magic Nori, the food coach over at Vanderbilt. You can get it at eatingtowin.com. Also several bookstores in the area. Magic, thanks for coming in. Appreciate your time. Magic Nori, the food coach over there at Vanderbilt. We'll come back and wrap things up on the show right after this. All right, time to wrap things up on this edition of Sportsline here on News Channel 5 Plus. Good discussion tonight off the top about the Titans. Their great win on Sunday, 44-41 over the Lions in overtime. Now 1-2. Next up for the Titans, a trip to Houston, their first divisional game on Sunday, a noon kickoff that you can catch over on News Channel 5 in spectacular high definition. See if the Titans can keep on going, and that win yesterday can be a little bit of a spark for them. Also thanks to Magic Nori, the food coach over from Vanderbilt. We talked about his new book, Eating to Win. Again, you can get that at eatingtowin.com. Also, it's available in several bookstores as well. Great tips in there for fueling yourself or maybe one of your young athletes at home. We'll see you over on the news tonight, 10 o'clock, much more on the Titans and Brant Snedeker, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night for Titans Tuesday on News Channel 5 Plus.